Welcome to Staying Uncomfortable. My name is Kyvan. In this episode, I sit down with Boss Everline. Boss and I talked about how do you continue to show up every single day and continue to inspire millions of people and telling them that the best is yet to come. How do you have the right mindset and bring the core values that you have since day one? How do you continue to show up when nobody else is showing up for your 5 o'clock class? And that's how Boss actually started. And as Boss says, just train your mind and the body will follow. Boss, thank you so much for being here.
Man, thank you for having me. Super dope.
So, a lot of people kind of know you through being a celebrity trainer, especially with being with Kevin Madrid at the time. But I want to put that aside for a second, and I want to get to know real Boss here. I was doing a little bit of research about you, and one of the things that I recall was about your first client or the first class, that Maryland that you talked about, and you didn't give up. And I want to kind of take me back to your journey on how you kind of transitioned to how you got to here today.
Well, I mean, first off, thanks for having me. Obviously, these are always great opportunities to be able to sit down and tell your story. I think one of the cool parts about what I want to do to inspire people a little bit more is just where you start really doesn't matter. It's really the journey that we're all on, because we're all in a vicious cycle to reach our fullest potential. And so for me, it started with trying to pursue an NFL career. Family members were in the NFL, currently in the NFL. And that was my dream. That's what I wanted. It wasn't about them. That was just the path that was in front of me. And then, you started to wake up and start to see that God has a different plan for you, right? And so opened up a gym in Atlanta. And it was just a buy time to really try to play football again. But I've been a serial entrepreneur from the beginning. I was like fucking trying to do a landscaping company, just whatever it was that I could be independent and create something. That was what it was all about. And then had a conversation with a friend at one point, and she was just like, "You're a jack of all trades and a master of none." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, well, let's do it." And so I really dove into it, and I really loved it. And so when it goes back to Maryland, like I had this gym. And I thought, everybody thinks they're going to start some shit and it's going to just bang off.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody thinks that, oh, my God, this is going to be fucking amazing and it's going to happen, right? Started a boot camp, thought I'm 5 o'clock class, because so many people were like, oh, if you do a 5 a.m. boot camp, I'll be there. Oh, okay, really? And nobody fucking showed up. So Marilyn showed up, and she paid her, I think it was $150. She paid her $150 for the month. And I said it was a 3-month thing.
Yeah.
And literally that 3-month thing, I was like realizing nobody was coming at the first month. I'm like, damn, gotta get up at 4 o'clock, gotta get dressed, gotta drive to the gym for one person. But then you have to ask yourself that question, like, she signed up for that commitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where it all started to me. It's like, I got to be committed to her. She didn't sign up in contingent of what other people were going to do. She signed up because that's what she wanted, and she wanted to be there at 5 a.m. because it works best for her, and I offered it. So I had to hold myself accountable for what I offered, no matter how hard it was. And so you go through these processes of saying that, I'll never get up early once I get successful and all this different type of things and blah, blah, blah. And she was one of the people that's kind of where I'm at today, where I always credit her to making me stay consistent at a young age. I mean, I finished college, again, pursuing an NFL career. And at that moment, I was like, all right, you look back and I'm like, shit, like, this is where it all started. This is how, the accountability, I had it in me. I just had to make sure that I kept it up. You know what I mean? I couldn't fall short because of, the circumstance of my own ability to get in my way and say, oh shit, well, it's just one person. I can give her our money back. Nah, you need that $150. That shit helped me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, so at the end of the day, that's kind of where it started for me. It's like that one person kind of helped me stay consistent in the process of what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And what I wanted to believe in.
Did you ever, at some point in your career, as you start progressing, thought about giving up? Because you weren't seeing the results? Because the reason why I ask this is that in today's world, everybody wants instant results, right? Because social media has become more part of lifestyle. And everybody thinks that if they start something, they should be able to see the results right away. How long did it take you in this whole entire process to start seeing results?
Well, I mean, that's tough to really say, right? But I've never given up on myself. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like through this whole shit, I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I knew something was gonna happen. I've always bet on myself, you know. So I'm like, shit, let's just try it. If it don't work, it don't work. I'm gonna fail this way. I'm not gonna fail that way. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking fall forward. So that was always my approach to everything that I did. And so everybody would say you shouldn't do this or you should do this, and I heard everybody, I took it in, but I just did what I felt was best for me and the people that I knew I could help. I always had a vision, right? And I always tell people this: a vision is for the bearer of it, right? Like a picture is just a picture, but we can look at that picture and see two completely different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody thinks that one picture says the same thing, and it doesn't. You know, one picture you may see something so further. So I've always been a big picture guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not in the moment guy. And I've always there's certain things that's kind of happened over the years where it made me realize that it was always about the compound interest effect. Those small little things that you do daily. And there's been books I've read that kind of that made me realize that it's always about the small things. It's about this interview right now, telling people my story, the reason why you were able to find me and say, oh, it was about some things I've done, a little small things, something that you heard. You know, I didn't just wake up and Kevin was like, oh, I'm going to hire this guy to be my trainer. You know what I mean? That was work that had to be done. And so before Kevin, that was me. I've trained Diddy. I've traveled out of the country to train some very high level people in our world. But, you know, they didn't just, that shit just didn't happen.
But that's what the people think, that it just happened. People don't know the backstory behind how you became boss and how you got to where you are today, right? And people who are watching this, I think, needs to really understand that you were persistent, consistent, and you had vision. Without vision, there's nothing.
There's nothing, right? But I think, you know, you have to have vision, but if you're consistent, sometimes you can get away, because consistency with what you believe in can ultimately lead to a lot of shit, right? Like you have to be consistent no matter what. If you want to be a better basketball player, you can't just think the thought. You have to get up and act towards the thought. So the consistent thought movement towards your goal is so important because so many people think that they can just think about shit all the time and write shit on paper. But if there's no action, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know, you know, a lot of people, they can write a lot of shit down, but there's no action. If you have no action to get up and get shit done,
it's pointless.
It's a little point. Yeah.
In your career, what pushes you, even till today? You know, I think there's a lot of athletes or a lot of trainers at this point. They're like, oh, I got to this level now. I'm going to sit back, relax, and continue. But I still see you hustling. I still see you grinding. I still see you like waking up early. And I think one of the things that I remember from doing a little bit of research on you was that you enjoy now waking up at 4:30. Before you hated it.
Yeah. I'm in love with the process, right? Like I'm in love with this journey that people have allowed to listen. They've allowed themselves to listen to me, you know, and I don't take that for granted, let alone there's just so much. I think there's so much more I have to offer to myself, my family, my friends, to the people that choose to follow me and listen to me. I think that I haven't even really, I told myself the other day, I've been getting by on pure just talent in the sense of, you know, there's more. There's more. Like, lock yourself in a room, shut off everybody, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Don't touch that shit. Really focus. Really, really focus. And so that's what it's about for me, is really focusing on the shit that is passionate to me and taking it to the next level. I'm really thirsty for more. I'm thirsty for knowledge. I'm thirsty to be around people that have more than me, make me better. The idea to be able to sit down and to be in this room right now and see the creativity just in such a small dynamic, but it's so large. It's so large because, you know, we paint our own picture. We become our own artists, but everybody doesn't understand that abstract art is so beautiful. But everybody's trying to paint these fucking perfect, beautiful photos. You know what I mean?
No perfection.
There is no perfection. There's beauty in what people call ugly. Yeah. There's beauty in all of the shit. So I don't consume myself by what they say, more about who I am, and then I listen to my peers, and I wake up knowing that I have more to give. I mean, and it's time consuming mentally because you're like, fuck, I want to take a break. But then, when you take a break, you're not happy because there's more you want. You know what I mean? So,
and not to cut you off, but you know that there's somebody else who's grinding 4 times harder than you to get to where you are.
They want my spot.
Exactly.
They want what you have. And so you can't take it for granted. I use the analogy in football all the time. Like when we were playing, it's like I think what we all do is this shit's a game.
Yeah.
The game of life, right? And so the thing that I always did in football was like, I was a starter. And I always knew the guy behind me wanted my position. So the second I thought I was just that goddamn good, and I was good, I didn't have to do a little bit extra. I didn't have to go to the gym a little longer. I didn't have to really study my playbook. That's when he got my position. So when I got hurt and he had his opportunity and he's been preparing, where if I wasn't preparing, well, when it was time for me to come back, there was no edge.
Yeah.
I always have to keep an edge no matter what. So, and that's what always keeps you pushing forward, to understand your position. And by the way, I want those guys that are doing that work to come up. Yeah. I want them, and I think they should, but it only should be pushing me to the next level. And then if I'm that guy, to be able to pull you up.
Yeah.
I want your effort to meet mine, and so we can sit on the same and we rise together.
Yep.
But for me, I'm delusionally focused on the brand, JustTrain, and building this shit to its highest point. JustTrain has never been about me. That you're like, really, like, when people really get it confused, this shit isn't like, no disrespect to anybody's personal brand, but like, I'm boss, and then there's JustTrain. Like, I want to build a brand for trainers to be able to have a platform to tell their stories and voices, and be able to have a merch line just that it means something bigger than self.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh,
because it's easy to just talk about myself all the time, which we're sitting here talking about. But I want this to inspire other people. And
well, there's a purpose behind it.
There's a purpose, right? The same thing where you say you couldn't speak English 15 years. You came into this country 15 years ago, couldn't speak like English. You know what I mean? And so now you speak English and you have your own show and all. So it's the process, but like we were coming up here, it sounds like really corny, but it's really, really fucking true. You know what I mean? So for me, this been about how can my opportunity lead to more opportunities for other people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is for me. I don't care. One of my mentors and friends, Marco Burrs, he literally said, my candle loses no light to light yours.
Can you say that slowly? I want people to hear it. I've heard it.
Your candle loses no light to light someone else's candle, right? So for me, I literally live off the idea that if I can light your candle, doesn't fucking dim my light on my candle. I'm cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? I have an ego when it's the right time.
Yep.
But I'm not walking in a room with the ego like I got the, you know what I mean? Like,
but you're doing this to inspire other people, right? You don't need to do any of that.
I'm really not doing it to inspire other people. I'm doing it for me. In allowing myself to build a personal brand. And if you're inspired by it, that's
all it is.
That's what it is. But I'm not waking up every day like, now I've become a motivator and inspirator. But I started this to build something that was bigger than myself. But it wasn't just about, let me go out here and let me try to use these words and all this shit. No, it was a bigger purpose. It was, let's build a brand. Yeah. Let's make it, like, help people. But I didn't know I was going to reach masses. I didn't know, you reach out to me and call, man, come be on my show. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so those are the things that that motivate me and I want to continue to be better than I was yesterday. Because I think I blame myself for everything, even the good and bad. Like, I blame myself when shit go wrong, even if it's not my fault. Okay, how could I have been better? Should my communication have been better? Should I have done this? Sometimes it doesn't always come back to you, but I blame myself. I try not to put the blame on other people. I'm responsible.
Speaking of that, how do you deal? Because I was reading something, and something that you mentioned was that every day you wake up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is you want to get the positivity thoughts going versus the negative, right? And I think there's a lot of people out there in the world today who are constantly looking to improve themselves, and if they don't see results, they start thinking about negative. And I think you touched upon something which was thought, which is the whole entire game. I feel like, what is your take on the thought process of the human mind?
It's the same thing. JustTrain is a metaphor for mental, right? But everybody sees it as a physical, right? Just train your mind, and your body will follow. So we're all in training.
Yeah.
all in training. Video guys in training. He wants to know what's new, what's how this new shit. He has to train himself to understand the new trends, the new shit that's working. So it's mental. So you start to invest and train your thought process to be more positive. Negative shit's gonna happen. I'm dealing with shit right now that may not be ideal. I can't talk about that, but I can't put the negative out. I want to be around the positive. I tell people all the time, what kind of energy is it? It's negative. I don't want to hear it. Not my business. If it has nothing to do with me, I'm selfish. I'm selfish. I'm sorry. I'm selfish with my positivity. I'm selfish with my thought. Should be. I'm selfish. But people want to drop their luggage on you and walk the fuck away. No, I'm not. It's not allowed here. You're not going to leave that shit with me and I'm festering on it and then you're gone and you're not even worried about it and now I have to deal with that shit. No way. I'm focused my energy on positive thoughts, positive reinforcement. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I wake up and I'm fucking happy. No, it's fucking, I got a lot, but I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to put that on you. But and it's controlling that thought to look at the good in all the negatives. So when you see the negative, it's like, all right, cool. I always prepare myself for what's the worst to come.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I see the good in it. So I'm always trying to find the good in the bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's me.
Tell me about your family a little bit.
I'm a kid of 8 brothers and sisters. So my mom had 9 kids. Okay. Very, very humble beginnings, I always tell people like this, I didn't grow up poor. Like, everybody wants to tell this super poor story. And it's true. I'm sure it's true. Yeah. I didn't grow up middle class, but I didn't grow up poor, if that makes any sense. And we had the lights turned off, but we had some struggles and things were tough. I lost my mom at a young age. I have a brother that I lost. Can
I ask about your mom? Sorry. Yeah. It's like when you lose something that's so precious to you.
Yeah.
And you are taken to those dark places because you thought again, it's like, well, I could have done this or I could have done that for her or I could have done this for my family.
Yeah, for me, there was nothing we could have done, right, for her at that time. I know where you want to go with this, but truly, at the point of like, I have to use it for a positive. What would my mom want me to be doing right now?
Yeah.
Not, damn, I miss my mom. Yeah, those were moments, but I have to be excited about what she would want me to do.
Yeah.
Where would she be proud of me with my decision today? That's what's most important because I'm here now and she's with me. So I have to make sure that she's constantly proud of me and that I am, representing her well. Yeah. And so that's, and that I am an example for my nieces and nephews. That's what she wanted. So I'm responsible for that shit. So that's the positive in it. You there's obviously the negative you can look at, I'm without a mom and blah, 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 but then, okay. It's one of the things people go, and I know why people do it. I just don't receive it. People go, I told my mom, passed away. They go, sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry for?
Yeah.
You're fucking with it. You don't even know why you're saying it. It's just become so fucking common.
But you know what I mean? But you use that to push you and to build you to get to where you are today.
Yeah, it's all for it.
And what about your brothers or sisters that you have?
We're really close. My mother always told us that she had a lot of kids, so we never have to worry about friends. So no matter we may bicker, fight, no matter what, we always know that when we come back home, it's love.
Yeah.
I speak to every one of my brothers and sisters. Every single one of them I speak to. There is no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We go through our things.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, love them. Wouldn't change for the world. So thankful I have 8 brothers and sisters. Like, I couldn't imagine. My fiance she's the only child. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. I think that would be tough.
Couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
So for me, man, my childhood was humble, great. My family, my aunts, my dad has 21 brothers and sisters. Wow. Same mom, same dad. Grew up in the country, and so you come from that. I have a lot of cousins, first cousins, and so you people try to put their own fear on me. My own family, not some of my own family put their own fear on me. You can't come around me.
So when did you have the vision of JustTrain?
So we could take it back when I started training Neo, right? Like I started training Neo, had no social media. I didn't. It was just like, it was Twitter at the time. I don't fucking want Twitter. What am I going to talk to? You know what I mean? And who cares about my thoughts? You know, and we're sitting in a studio in Miami, and they were just like, you know, boss, you got to create. You got to get on this, man. You got to get on it. And I was just like, I don't want it to be about me. Like everybody is, you know, they're talking shit to each other, having fun. I was just like, got other things I want to do. And I was sitting there one night, and I was just like, and they were just like, man, create one. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just create JustTrain, because all I wanted, it was like, let's just go train. Let's train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, don't talk, just train. Because it was like all I wanted. It wasn't just about training. It was just it was what I wanted to build. I was in fitness, and this is what it was. I'm on the road. I was like, I just train, and you know, that's how it all came from. JustTrain came from that. And then I started to really think about it, right? So then I started to think about what JustTrain meant. And so this was, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? And I just really started to play with the thoughts of like what JustTrain really meant. And so then you start to really build a narrative around it. And so then it just developed. Then Instagram came, and I was slow to Instagram, and then I finally got on it, and I wouldn't post.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then you read a little bit more. Then you become a little bit more informed, and then I'm like, okay, well, this shit's kind of cool. Then I was like, I never wanted it to be about me. Again, it goes truly back to, all right, I was like, okay, JustTrain can be like Sports Center, like we can feature like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it was about, man. JustTrain, and started a merch company, and I failed so many times, and now our people are loving our merch, and it's successful, and it's working, and you know. But it was always about building more, having trainers. So JustTrain, we have trainers that work with different celebrities under the JustTrain brand. You know what I mean? So we've been able to not just celebrity CEOs of companies that have currently right now today have a JustTrain trainer with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we've evolved to that most people don't know. When you see JustTrain, you go, oh, yeah, that's the dude that trained Kevin Hart. Well, nah, JustTrain trains the CEO of a healthcare company, a CEO of, you know, a banking company. And
Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, and we've been fortunate and blessed with the opportunity for people trusting us. We built gyms and, you know, design gyms. And so I take a responsibility, and it's that once people trust me, I can't misuse that.
Yeah.
Simple. And so JustTrain now is trusted. Whether it's whatever scale, people can trust me. And so I don't want to misuse your trust.
No, because once you lose the trust, it's very, very hard to gain back. Probably never. You would never get it back.
Yeah. It's like a relationship.
Yeah.
Well, with a woman, you know, well, man, you know, you just, trust is more of a compliment than love.
Oh, for sure, 100%. One thing I wanted to ask you was the balance. How do you balance your life, right? Someone like you who's constantly traveling, you have a fiance, brother, sister, family, balance.
It's tough, you know, and sometimes we become imbalanced, right? So the metaphor of fitness you can always use exercise for life and the gym. It's tough. Balance is one of the toughest things most people don't have, whether it's in life or the gym, right? And so for me, it's a conscious effort because I've lost balance at times, right? Because I'm like, damn, I'm working all the time and not spending enough time with my family, and me and my fiance and my brothers, my sister, my nieces, my nephews, aunts and uncles. And people take it personal. But then there's a point of imbalance that creates more balance, right? So the imbalance is I have to work so hard on my craft that you miss me. And so I have the time and the ability to afford your expense to really enjoy. So that sometimes the imbalance creates a perfect balance. You see what I'm saying? Because you have to be wobbly sometimes to create a balance to where now I have more time. I can allot the expense to be able to say, okay, though we didn't have this for a year or two, look at us now, we're all on vacation and we can afford the expense to, you know, and so it creates balance. It's difficult, right? But there's a conversation and there's understanding. And at the point of where I'm at of growth, if you don't understand that the imbalance has to happen right now of where I'm trying to go, well, fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really that
simple.
simple.
It's simple.
Fuck off. I'm sorry, but I can't make you happy. I'm not in the business of trying to please everybody about where I want to take something. You know what I mean? Like, because you're not going to understand. I was telling my friend today, it's like, someone said, oh, he said, man, I have an idea. And he was like, that's stupid. You shouldn't do that. And I'm like, I think it's fucking a great idea because you should try it to to prove that it doesn't work first. And then if the shit don't work, then you look up and you go, okay, maybe it was stupid. But you Jim morning, right? Let's just hype it. I fucking say Jim morning every morning. And my girl's like, babe, you shouldn't say it every day. And I didn't. I was like, all right, whatever. I say it every fucking day. Because I get up and I go to the gym morning, gym afternoon, gym night, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. And now everybody wakes up in the morning and they scream gym morning, gym night, gym afternoon. And now it's become a part of my brand.
Yeah.
It's so it was stupid. And she wasn't saying it in a negative way. She was just like, it's a lot. And I'm like, all right, cool. A lot. I have to do it. It's a lot. I know. But I believe in it. All right.
But if you didn't do that, right? If you didn't do that, it wouldn't be a part of your brand at this point.
I get fucking gym mornings from Malaysia. From Australia, from people all over the country, all over the U.S. And people just saying gym morning. What the fuck? What the fuck? And so now we're opening a gym in Cleveland, a JustTrain gym. We're partnering with, you know what I mean? Like, I told myself I would never do gyms again, and now we're about to jump in the gym business. You know what I mean?
How was it when you started training with celebrity? Like, especially with Kevin now. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you think that people kind of recognize you from Kevin, or do you now, because of the brand that you built, it's both ways?
I think it's both ways, but I don't really give a fuck. Just recognize what we're trying to build.
Yeah.
Give a fuck how you found me. Who cares? As long as you buy into concept of what we're preaching here, I don't care. You recognize it. I'm excited that you even recognize me from whatever facet. Kevin's a bigger brand, obviously, you know, but I'm appreciative to all facets of appreciation of what I've been able to do. I don't care if it's with Kevin. I don't care whatever. I'm just thankful. Yeah. I'm thankful that people have given me an ear to share my story and to motivate them and inspire them to get up and truly reach their full potential. I don't know if you guys can curse on here or not.
You're free to curse, yeah.
I don't really give a fuck how you found. Just come and let's go together. Let's motivate each other. Let's inspire. I'm not going to sit up here. I like my whole deal in this fitness industry, and I've used fitness as a entry. I'm a fitness entrepreneur. I love business. You know what I'm saying? But fitness was my segue to diversify my portfolio. Yeah. So I'm not a trainer's trainer. Right? So I don't sit with, I'm not sitting, I'm really fucking good at what I do, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the best trainer in the world. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm good. I'm with me. So you, if you're the best, go be. I don't give a fuck about that title. Right? Like, really, I don't. Yeah. Okay, so what? I'm going to get an award? What the fuck does it really mean to me? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, no disrespect to the people that manifest that want to be. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to fucking help people be better. I want to make myself better. So I don't give a fuck about me competing with you about a measuring contest, about what. No, good luck. Go be great over there.
So let me ask you this. So any given point when somebody is watching this, right? And I think a lot of people will probably watch this when they are looking for motivation. They're in dark places in their life. What's that one thing that you want to leave people with, boss? Like one message that you want to leave the audience with, that when they hear you, it's like, damn, I need to stop feeling sorry for myself, because human, that's what we do. We start feeling sorry for ourselves, and then we just keep going down the rabbit hole instead of thinking about the life, it's bigger itself. Yeah. What's that message that you want to leave the audience with?
I think most of all is, man, just believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and like know that tough times are gonna come. It just prepare yourself for it, but prepare yourself to know that you can overcome it, and truly trust the process. You know, really believe in everything that you're doing, whether you reach the highest level of success or you're at the rock bottom. You know that you can come out of every fucking thing that you've ever been through, and that you just that you know that you're accountable for you. That's it. And that you sometimes got to be your own biggest motivator, pick yourself up and get your ass out the door to go get shit done. Whether you're a graphic designer, whether you're a salesman, I don't give a fuck what you do, whether you're a personal trainer, whether you're a motivational coach, whether I don't give a fuck what it is. Trust the process. Trust the process. Consistency. Be consistent. Be consistent. We may waver, but be consistent. I'd rather be the guy in a football game that got that rush rather than having one good game out of the whole 16 season. Yeah. rather than having that guy that played consistently and got some tackles every game. I'd rather be that guy. I'd rather be consistent. I'd rather be that kicker that always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kicker on a team that really never missed kicks. I don't really give a fuck about being a superstar.
One other thing I want to ask you, it caught as we're going, it's spinning in my head, and I want to ask you about this, is that a lot of people want to achieve greatness.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to push beyond limits. A lot of people want to do those things. Do you have any personal exercises or certain things that you do that you can share with the people, that like maybe a book that you read, maybe something that you listen to? Like, I love listening to motivational speech, like from Arnold, from Les Brown and E.T. and those
So
guys.
I listen to one book that I like, The Slight Edge. And I listen just to a lot of podcasts. You are who you hang around. So if you're trying to reach a new level, right? Because success is not it's where, because your success and my success may be totally different.
Yep.
So you have to find things and people that motivate you and inspire you to where you're trying to go, whether it's financial success, whether it's buying new business, whatever it is, you have to find it. So one of the books, it was about compound interest, Slight Edge, right? It was all about the small things done over a period of time ultimately leads to the big deal. Mm-hmm. So focus on small things, and then one day you'll wake up and you'll see compounded interest effect of what you've done. And now you have, like, there's a shitload of content that you're building up right now. And when you get your big break, it's not just one video. They can go back and go, oh shit, this guy's been doing this for 2 years, because maybe some of them had 10 views on them.
Yeah.
But now they got 100,000, because when you pop, that compounded interest effect finally took, you know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, that it's always about the compound interest. It's always about doing the small little things repeatedly over time, and really believing in. I don't really believe in, like, I understand principle, and then after principle, I'm fucking like, let's go. Let's fucking. I have goals. I write certain things down, but then I don't try to stick to those things, because I've surpassed that shit. I couldn't have ever thought about traveling to the Middle East to train the people that I've trained. I went to Japan. I went to Marbella, Spain, training people that, oh my God, I couldn't have fucking wrote that in a book. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was going to design a gym for the creator of True Religion, Kim Gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't dream. You can't write that shit on paper. Some. But then I would have put limits on my shit. I don't want to put limits on where God wants to take me. I don't care what you believe. I believe in God, where I want it to go.
There's a higher power above all of us.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, God wanted to. I was like, this is what it is for me. And so I hope that kind of answered, man. But I mean, for me, it's about taking things to its next level, and defining what you want out of life. Not looking at you and going, you may motivate me and inspire me, but it's different. Like I said in the beginning, that bearer of that photo, it's completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, and when your niece and nephew, because I have a niece and nephew, and it's my heartbeat.
Yeah.
If when they watch this, at some point in their life, do you have any message you want to leave them with, man?
I'm gonna tell you this to your niece and nephew, and to my nephew that told me this when I was in college. My nephew was 9 years old. I was watching a music video, and he said, I said, turn that off. And he said, why you don't want to watch the video, Uncle Boss? I said, I don't want to watch those people with all that stuff, and I don't have it. And it's not, he said, God said, never be jealous of anyone. When it's your time, it's your time. He'll give you the things that you desire when it's your time. So who cares about what they have it now and their time? When it's your time, allow your time and flourish in your moment. Don't be jealous. Don't be envious. Don't be nothing. Your time will come, and it's up to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that stuck with me. And I think that as in our time today, like you said about social media, everybody's so in the instant, not understanding that when their time comes, they need to just be ready.
Yeah.
It's like that backup that I was telling you. When your time comes and I do get hurt, you better fucking make sure you're ready. Because if you're not ready, you don't have a position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Because if you were ready, and I was still playing at a high level off injury and came back, guess what the coach is gonna say? We gotta find a way to get that guy on the field. Mm-hmm. We need him. Because you've been prepared.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So to your niece and nephew, they're all young kids out there that are looking to take their shit to the next level. trust the process, man. Don't give up. Don't look for the instant gratification of right now. What social media is making us feel like, oh, I need it right now. I need it right now. I need the new car. I used to drive a Honda Civic. My girl, I lived in Neo's mansion. True story. 4-story house, gym in the house in the Hollywood Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And I had money to buy a car, but I was like, for what? I'm a drive her Honda Civic to these sessions. We would be on the road on tour, and as soon as I'm getting ready to land, I would call people that had been trying to train with me, and I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let me network, let me get out here, and I would drive her car. And people would look at me and I'd pull up in a Honda Civic like, it's the guy that, yeah, pull up, yeah, he trains all the celebrities, he's driving a Honda Civic. And Neo gave me access, he would be like, yeah, you can drive a Rolls Royce. I'm going to drive a Honda Civic. Less liability. I ain't got to worry about wrecking it. And I wasn't embarrassed. I don't care. Because of the way it looked to you, don't give a fuck. I'm okay.
You're fine the way you
are. The personal perception, you got the car, but you can't go out to dinner. Because you can't afford it. I can go out to dinner and help. I can pay for the dinner for my friends. That's more important to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, you like cars. Cool. I want to make sure my friends enjoy nice dinners and explore and travel the world. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Fuck the car. Now, don't get me wrong. I like cars, but at that moment,
it wasn't your priority.
No, fuck that. And then the world says you need a nice car. You need to prove. You need to show up and. I don't give a fuck. It's not about the car. It's about what I'm offering.
So, what's next for you in this journey now?
For me, man, just to continue to inspire. I want to spread the word of growth, personal brand growth. I want to elevate the JustTrain brand to another level. Merch, new app, just things like what you talked about in the car, elevating the brand and taking, understanding social media wave, understanding collaborations, things like this, and just really just showing the lifestyle brand of JustTrain and not just the training. Because like when I started my YouTube channel, right, which you can go watch, JustTrain TV. But when I started it wasn't about me training. Everybody knows I train. I wanted to talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put training videos up all day long. But they didn't know me. They just saw me as the guy that does these fucking workouts and he trains Kevin Hart, right? But I wanted you to actually hear and understand where I come from and understand my perspective and my outlook on life. You know what I mean?
I reached out to you after watching the video that Austin recorded. You were wearing a red t-shirt and you talked about the thought process, which we touched upon earlier. And when you talked about it, I was like, that hit me right here. Because a lot of time we put ourselves into that position because we're thinking about that thought, not realizing the time is now, the power is now. Yeah. The more you put in your thoughts, you're literally letting time go by.
Yeah.
And being sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me so well that I was like, dude, if not today, I was like, I'm gonna come after you. I'm gonna find a way to get you on here because I think a lot of people needed to hear that.
I appreciate it. I think that once we can start to, as people, control our thoughts of what we want more than what the desires of the world is telling us, and what our personal thought of who you want to become and not who you want me to become. Because, oh man, and then obviously we seek counsel, right? We all need counsel, but to understand where we're trying to go and to control that is so important. It's so important, man. So, like, the fact that you reached out to me, it goes to show you that the world we're right here. You sent an email, I'm in Chicago, let's do it. It's done. You know what I mean? Like, it's not complicated anymore. Whereas before, big brand, you got to go through this channel, this. No, we've taken the power away. We are the power. We have the voices right here in front of these cameras, and now it's up to the people to decide who they choose to listen to.
Yep.
If we do it the right way, they're going to come, and we just focus. And just like you said, hey, I got this person, and just continue to focus.
Yeah, man.
And motherfucker, I'll say this. Oh, man, I'm so excited that I reached 10,000 subscribers. I swear to God, I was like, fuck, I got 10,000 subscribers. And they're like, there's nothing. That's a lot. That's a fucking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't take any of this for granted. I don't take this shit for granted one bit. Because it's like, they have a choice.
Yeah.
They don't fuck. It's 100 thousands and millions of motherfuckers. Like, you don't, when a person gives you the opportunity, Kevin's a celebrity for a reason.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
people chose you. Dwayne, the people chose you. When the people choose you, it's your responsibility to make sure that so 10,000 people plus chose me, and I'm so grateful. I have an Instagram, I have a Facebook, and you look up and you go, I don't take that shit for granted.
No, I'm so grateful that you're here, man.
Yeah.
Because I think what you're doing is, I want people to know that you can achieve where Boss is. You can get to it. There's nobody stopping you besides yourself.
You can go past this. This isn't even.
You're just touching the surface right now.
But fuck me.
Yeah.
Go get it. It's so much opportunity out here. So much opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, we have to stop living in fear. We have to stop living in fear. You can't. You got to step out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's so scared of failing.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. Well, fuck. You can never succeed if you don't fail.
And out of failure, it's probably the biggest thing that you learn is the lessons that if you really pay attention, the lessons are the most important things that's going to give you the growth for you to get to the next level in life.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's so simple. But what's so simple is so complicated today.
Yeah.
What's so simple is so complicated because people just cannot digest simplicity. If it's too simple, well,
there's something wrong. People think.
I'm trying to simplify everything. How do you move? Well, you just get up and go for a walk. That's how the fuck you move.
Mark does this 10 minutes walk. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. He's like, if you can't go to the gym, go for a freaking 10-minute walk.
Go for a walk. Like, everybody wants to complicate it. Yeah. It's really not complicated. The book that I was telling people to read is like exercise. People say they're not readers. Well, if you read 10 pages a day, 365 days a year, how can you say you're not a reader? Yeah. It's just 10 pages. Let's just say you read 5. How many books is that? So you're not a reader? Yeah. So you just change the narrative, and so you simplify everything. Where everybody's trying to make everything so fucking complicated, I'm trying to find a way to simplify it. That's how I did in football. Coach, what hook for curl? Okay, simple. All right, coach, you got it. Cover 4, cover 3, cover 2. Here's my responsibility. Once I simplified that and understood that to the simplest form, then I can help everybody else. But everybody, he needed to make his defense complicated because he needed to sound smart. I need to sound smart. It's fucking be simple because everybody's trying to sound smart. I don't mind being like, and I tell people all the time, I want to be in a room full of smart people and not say anything. I want to be the dumbest person in the room.
I'm sure you probably know that they're just saying you're the 5 people that you're surrounded by, and you never want to be the number 1, or you never want to be the number 5. You want to be the third one because that way you're learning, and then you're teaching.
Yeah. And also that same 5 is who you are. That describes who you are. I did that on one of my channels. Is you put yourself in the middle. You have 5 people, and that shows you who you are. And sometimes you look at these people, and some of these people you got to get rid of because they're draining and doing so. So there's just so much, man. But we have the ability right now to sit in front of a camera, tell our story, upload it, put it out, and the people choose.
Yep.
How great is that? And they have the same ability to tell their story.
But you know what I mean? They're scared. There's fear, right?
No more
fear. That's what it is for a lot of people. And
no more fear. You couldn't speak English.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? What fear? You said, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to...
Yeah, I want people to know that I wasn't born here. Couldn't even say hi, hello.
Yeah.
Learn how to do this. And really be able to pursue my dream that I want.
Yeah.
And be consistent and persistent. And then obviously be able to modify. Because... like you said earlier, that I can't just write on a piece of paper and just follow those things because you got to be able to explore and see how you can modify. And I think people who are born here have so much more potential than I do. And I've been here 15 years. Yeah. And it boggles my mind that people who are born here, and no disrespect to anybody, that you take shit for granted.
Yeah. And
people like me, I want to make sure that my parents, they gave up so much shit to come here.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that when my parents are walking down the street, they're like, dude, that's Kaiden's parents.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that until I die to make sure that happens.
Yeah. I don't want to misuse the opportunity that I've been granted as well, to have the people's ear. And so it's really that simple. The exact same thing you said. It's like we have a responsibility to ourselves to take advantage of everything that's out here to go get. You know what I mean? There's a new study that came out that says there's so many more millionaires today than there ever was before.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine if we all just fucking tapped in. You know what I mean? And helped each other and got the ego out of the way. But, you know, we can do another sit down again and continue this story.
But I have to really, boss man, from the bottom of my heart, like, thank you for coming and putting trust into this. Like, last night I manifested it. I was like, man, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen to me? He's not gonna respond to me. He's not gonna email me back. Whatever. And look at the power of today.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get these emails all the time, and I was just like, you know what, let's do it. I tell you, I tell people all the time, it's like, I try to do these things because it's important. Mm-hmm. Because the fact that my brand has reached you and you want to have me, if I can, I will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful for the opportunity, like I said from the beginning, that you even chose me. That I said something that sparked a thought for you to say, you know, I want him on my channel. I want him to be a part of what I'm building. And you look back in 10 years, you're like, I met that guy. Because if we die tomorrow, what do we have? What do we leave behind that people knew that we stood for something or that we were, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Bro, thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. It means a lot. Seriously.
For sure. Now you get to leave an amazing mark on this fabulous wall of mine. Okay.